Hey guys, Leo from JDMuscle here, giving you another quick episode on our F1 light installation. For those who watched our channel before, this car might look very familiar to you. The same customer with the TR who installed the JDM Edition STI spoiler from us decided to come back again to install the F1 light. Now, the F1 light we're installing today is our first version with the red lens and the red base. This particular F1 light comes with both a DRL and braking function, not only adding that extra aggressiveness to the rear end of your WRX, but also serves as a safety add-on feature for the extreme weather conditions. Included in the box, you will find the F1 light, which is available in 9 different styles. Now, like I mentioned, we are going to come up with the version 2 on this model, in which we are going to eliminate the bracket entirely and use plastic tabs for a much easier installation. But for today's video, I'm just gonna cover the version with the bracket because we're still a couple months away for that. Works with the bracket. We have the bolts and clips to secure the F1 light to the vehicle. We also have this harness on one end, it connects to the F1 light. On the other end, you will need to hook it up to your tail lights. Now, available to purchase separately, we have the plug and play harness for 22 plus WRX, as well as 15 through 21. Basically, on one end, it connects to the tail light. The other end connects to your existing wiring system, so you don't have to cut into the existing wires, which is a super plus. And now let's dive straight into the installation. And pardon the mess here, we're actually moving our shop very soon, so just bear with us here for the chaotic background. So for the first step, you need to pop the trunk, which gives you access to the taillight. You can pick either side of the taillight, and today we are going to work off on the driver's side. There's one clip right here and a couple of tabs behind it to release this whole panel in order to get us access to 2 bolts underneath here. You can use a Phillips head screwdriver, hold on to the rim here and lightly twist it. So it comes up and you should be able to pull it out easily. Next, you need to pop this trim off. You can either use a trim removal tool, but since I know exactly where the tabs are, I'm just gonna use my hand. And boom, it comes right off. Now you can use a 10mm socket and release these 2 bolts so you can pop the taillights off. Now, don't be scared to remove both at the same time because the taillight is still held on by another clip over here. So you can carefully take these 2 out, set them aside, and carefully pull the taillight out. You should feel a little bit of resistance on this side. Just don't be afraid, pull it straight out. And just showing you from a different angle, this is the clip I was talking about. Now carefully remove the taillight and remove the harness that's still attached to it by pressing this down and pull it out. Now you can set your tail light aside for now. One of the techniques I found super useful is you can grab either a credit card or a gift card and you just insert the card this way and push it in. You can hear some slight click, which is totally normal. After you insert it and try to pull it out, you should be able to remove the trim very easily. There you go. Now we can work on the harness, which will fit through right here to where the F1 light is. If you purchase without the plug and play harness, we have included these T-tabs where you could tap into your existing system. We have the color scheme and diagram on our website for you to easily determine which wire goes into which. For today, we have the plug and play harness, which will make it a much easier installation. Now taking a closer look on how the wiring goes. This is the F1 light wiring. You have the black for the ground, blue for the parking, and the red for the reverse light. And on the PNP side, everything is labeled accordingly as well. Now you might notice that we have an extra wire right here, which is in white. It's designed for models with reverse light to make it to function. But for today, since this model only has 3, you're just going to tape this off. Now the kit will come with these small connectors, which will make the install quite easy. All you need to do is pull this side out and insert this into the slot right here. You need to make sure the metal portion is in contact of the metal portion over here. So after you insert it, make sure it's where it needs to be. Then you can use a little clamp tool or crimp tool to make it stay in place. Place the clamp right here and you want to crimp it as much as possible. It's not going anywhere. That's clamped down. You can start connecting it to the PNP harness. One thing I would recommend is using a electric tape and just tape around it. That way you get a better seal, and at the same time they will move and you don't run into the possibility of them disconnect in the future. Now you want to do the same thing for the other wires that's included. Now the black is a little different because if you did not purchase the plug and play harness, you're going to mount this to a screw for ground. But here, since we have a ground wire, you can either use a tool like this, or you can just use a knife to pull some of the wires out. You want to ensure there's enough exposure of the metal portion. And there you go. Same thing, use this connector, insert it and clamp it down. Then you can go ahead and connect it to the PNP harness. Now, before taping everything down, I would recommend at least go over to the car, hook it up temporarily, and test if everything is working as it should. Sometimes, if this is not crimped down correctly, you might have a loose connection somewhere. So let's hop over to the car and do a quick test. Now you can leave this hanging here for now and fish this wire through a hole right here. And use maybe a hook on the other side and try to pull it out. Unfortunately, we do need the tail light to complete the loop here for the electric to work. So I have the bolts on one of my hand, and I'm just going to plug this in real quick. And this side over here, and make sure this tab is aligned with this here. Just tuck them in for now. And you can use the bolt on your other hand and just temporarily hold it in case they fall down. Now you can hook this up right here, have a friend or a mirror on the other side so you can see it from the driver's seat, and just give it a quick test and see if everything works. Now we have confirmed that everything works perfectly. We can go ahead with the actual installation of the bracket. You have the bracket right here. It only goes one way. As you line it up, these two holes, you're going to use the bolt. To the left-hand side of the F1 light, this hole, we are going to use the clip. And on the other side, where you see a smaller hole, you're going to install a bolt as well, paired with this clip that's included. Next, you want to insert this clip right here. Note that the side with the notch will be facing inward, and as you push it in, you're going to hear a click. Next, you can fish this wire and connect it to the F1 light. Carefully push the F1 light in place. Note that it's a pretty loose fit right now because we have not installed the bracket. My recommendation will be going for the bracket and the clip, as this will install fairly quick and easily to hold the F1 light in place. Then we can work on the bolts. Now we're under the car. This is where the F1 light is. There's a couple clips around here which you can remove, so you can pull this panel down a bit to give you more room to work with. So we went ahead and removed 4 of the clips on this trim, and that gave us enough access to behind of the F1 light to install the bracket. You can go ahead and mount this top clip from the right hand side right here, which is located somewhere up here on the top. Should be able to insert it and pop it in place. Now you can use the 3 bolts that's provided and insert them. Now that you have everything in place, you can use a wrench, which will work perfect to tighten everything up. Alright, that concludes the install for this portion. Now we can move the bumper piece back to place and put the fork clips back in. Now we can move back to the taillight and finish up the installation. We'll remove the bolt that was holding the taillight in place. Now again, carefully pull the taillight out and unplug the harness real quick. Now we work on cleaning up the wires here. As mentioned, we have one actual one here because this model does not utilize the reverse function. We can use some electric tape and just tape them around so they don't move, and this creates a very good seal as well. Alright, once this is done, you can clean up the slack here by drag it all the way till you feel some slight tension. Then you can start folding these all together and just leave enough length for this to plug into the taillight. I would recommend tie these over here as well, just so these doesn't move in this direction, which will lead to a wire hanging on the underside of the car. Now we can carefully put the tail light back on, insert it till you hear the click. Pay attention, the tab should always face where you have the empty hole. Tuck these so they're not in the way. I'll start off with pushing this clip inside until you hear the click. Now we can reinsert these two bolts. Make sure to do it by hand first. Turn till it's snug, and use the socket and give it another half turn. Now the final step, you want to reinstall the plastic trim. Make sure these two lips sit underneath the tail light first. Give it a gentle click. Then reinsert this plastic tab here. As you press on the brake pedal, it either increases the light output or it can do a flashing pattern to warn the drivers behind you. Now I'm gonna quickly show you how to switch between the two modes. First, you wanna power the car on without starting the ignition. You have a keyless, you wanna press it 2 times, or if you have a key version, you just wanna turn it all the way. Now you want to start off with the lights in the off position. Press the brake and hold it. Turn the headlight on and off 3 times. You want to do so quickly. 1, 2, 3. Now you can release the pedal, and now the mode should be switched. And that's it for the installation. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, we were working on a revision for this model for an even easier installation. I hope the video was helpful and easy to follow, and please stay tuned for more future updates from our channel. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.